David, what distinguishes the MESA program from other STEM programs that target underserved kids?
Well, first say that there's actually a few number of programs that are actually serving underserved kids in the state of Oregon. What we try to do is actually break cycles of poverty within communities that have traditionally not gone on to college and very, very seldom participate in a STEM career, and we're trying to change that trajectory.
Okay, thanks. And Rachel, how do programs like MESA help drive business and economic growth in the state?
Well, the Lemelson Foundation was actually founded on the idea that invention is one of the greatest drivers of economic growth here in the U.S. The creation of products is what's going to create jobs. So programs like MESA actually give kids the tools that they need, not only to have a solid grounding in the STEM fields, but to understand how to see problems, take those problems and come up with inventions that can solve them and move it all the way to product marketing and actually bringing things to a commercial level. And so we're excited to see how these kids are able to succeed in school because of MESA and then actually move on into college and then into industry and start building businesses of their own that really strengthen the Oregon economy.
So it's a very entrepreneurial program.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. And David, earlier in our conversation, you were talking about empathy being a driver in the MESA program, and I think that's kind of unusual. We don't often think of empathy when we talk about engineers or engineering program. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we've been looking at questioning why don't students participate in STEM, and so we've seen a huge increase in students wanting to help folks. Mm-hmm. And the Wilson MIT program recently came out with a study about 1 or 2 years ago, which was consistent with other studies saying people get involved in STEM because they want to help people. So what MESA tries to do is it's a project-based learning. We try to take a real-life problem and present that to the students so then they use their math and science knowledge that they're learning in school and apply it to actually create a solution. So immediately students can see how impactful having a STEM education and being entrepreneurial and having an innovative mind can actually help people. And I think that's what we're trying to change. Rather than in school, everything's very dissected and they don't really understand how this is applicable to the world and how they can contribute to it.
Mm-hmm. David, so you talked about this program as being an entry into STEM education. What does that mean exactly?
Well, as you're aware, there's a whole STEM program going on in the state. We have a STEM Investment Council, we have STEM hubs, we have STEM schools. And there are a number of organizations doing STEM work in the state. And where I see MESA playing a really important role is at getting those underserved youth really turned on and lighting that spark in them and giving them an entree into these other resources. So we can get them started, we can give them a lot of really good tools, we can also help them move on to other opportunities that are going to exist as part of this STEM culture that we're putting together in the state.
And Rachel, can you talk about the skills gap we're seeing in Oregon?
Yeah, absolutely. So Oregon is actually, especially in the last 10 to 15 years, really been building its economy based on technology, and not just software and what people might think of as new wave technology, but technology manufacturing in the medical device industry and chip industry. And those businesses need people who are skilled not just in the basics of engineering, but in product development, communication management, marketing, and our schools are just not seeing enough graduates to fill those jobs. There have been recent reports about simultaneously on one page of the newspaper about high unemployment rates and on the next page about 700 job openings in different fields. And the reason there's that dichotomy is because these students are coming, they're graduating high school, but a very, very small minority of them are actually going on to college and getting degrees in STEM fields that would help them succeed in those businesses. It costs businesses money because then they have to go recruit out of state, they have to fly people in, interview, it takes a huge amount of resources to get their employees trained, and it costs Oregon because the people that we're investing in our public education system aren't getting jobs here in the state, and so they're having to move elsewhere to build their lives, and they're not contributing back to the state economy. And so what we like to see through programs like MESA is they're capturing kids at an age when typically they're losing interest in STEM fields, and they're giving them the skills they need not only to succeed in high school and in college, but to come and start building businesses right here in Oregon based on invention and technology that end up creating jobs and really building our state economy.